You need to try and pick off the units as.
Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the ball's gonna take him!
Welcome back to the IPL Season 2 Winter Round 2 series between ESC GoOdy and Fnatic NightEnD. I'm DJ Wheat from OneMoreGame.tv, and this is game number 2. We saw game number 1 really dominated by GoOdy. He decided to go, well, I mean, interestingly enough, he started with a little bit of bio, but instantly started to go to a completely mech army, and unfortunately, NightEnD just did not have the response that he needed in order to face off against it. And after a back and forth battle, which mostly saw GoOdy taking... we mostly saw NightEnD taking a majority of the damage, that GoOdy dishing most of the damage. And once those Blue Flame Hellion drops came out and he just was able to consistently throw those at his Protoss opponent NightEnD, it was kind of just chopping him down a little bit at a time, and eventually he was able to make his opponent tap out. So now we are on Shakura's Plateau. We have NightEnD, our red Protoss, spawning in the northwest, and he is going up against GoOdy. Our Terran, purple, spawning in the southeast already, dropping his racks, supply depot, all finished up. And we have the gateway about ready to go down here for NightEnD. Now the scouting probe of NightEnD making his way out. Actually scouts the close by air position first. And now we'll go across to see what's going on. He sees that there's no barracks down at the natural. But he will notice that this is a rather fast Rax, as it's going to go ahead and get up. And, you know, nothing too unusual here. But... we do have the orbital coming out right away. There it is, the orbital going up. And NightEnD deciding to pretty much go for gateway heavy. Had the Immortals come out, which ultimately did kind of help with those Blue Flame Hellion harasses early on. But Immortals, being the slow units that they are, not able to cover all of the square footage of the Protoss base. And NightEnD just kind of fell a little bit at a time. We're going to have the Tech Lab going down there quite fast. And we're not, did he even, yeah, he did get the first Marine, so keep on mining gas here, and he'll probably get a Reaper after this is done. Or he could decide to go for, nope, he's going to go ahead and get the Reaper. The other option is sometimes go ahead and get that Conch Shell, the Concussive Shell, and get a couple of Marauders out. Now, there is a probe just sitting right out here. He'd love to get rid of that probe, not give away the Reaper. And it's going to give a little bit of chase, but probably not going to happen. Psycore going down. 2 gases here yet again for NightEnD. Will be spotted by the SCV of GoOdy. Going to be chrono boosting out that one Stalker. And that Reaper should be coming out here momentarily. See what he decides to do with this. I like the Reaper opening from a Terran. Oh, he's going to see that, and he does. He got a quick glimpse of the Reaper. Pretty sure that he did actually see that. So this will be good with that Stalker. The Stalker, of course, will be very good versus Reapers. And one of the reasons I like the Reaper opening is just because there is a lot of cliff space that has to be, that really has to be defended here with a Reaper in play. Of course, now I have lost that Reaper. I can no longer see him on the minimap. Is that him up there? Okay, there he is. And this is one of the nice areas. You can hop up and down this little area in the cliffs and then hop back up over here. You could still manage to get to the third from those cliffs as well. Now, this isn't necessarily intended to do a lot of damage. It's very rare where we will see a lot of damage done. But for scouting reasons, absolutely a great unit to have. But the Stalker's going to be there. Stalker versus Reaper is going to actually not work out so great for the Reaper. And we have a proxy pylon going down here for NightEnD just outside the main base of GoOdy. Inside, we have the factory going down. And he's going to go ahead and start producing tanks. He has the bunker at the top of his ramp. As this second command center already morphing into an orbital right here. And a Reaper will fall to a Sentry. That Sentry's flexing its muscles. It's not so often that it gets to say, yeah, I totally owned that StarCraft 2 unit, but the Reaper is one of those few units that it can own in a 1v1. Don't want to go up 1 sentry versus multiple Reapers. It can be a bad thing. Now, did he actually scout that? Let's just check over here on the vision. No, he does not know that that pylon is there, and we see units starting to come out here for the Protoss player NightEnD already. Is he going to actually try to go for some sort of an attack, some sort of a bust? He is putting down his robotics facility right now. His Nexus is going down. This all, of course, is being scouted here. And GoOdy is going to notice that there's no army here at all for NightEnD. So he's got to know that something is up. Siege mode is about to finish, and this will be completely negated here if siege mode does fit. And there it is. If this tank does go into siege mode, he'll come out here and he's going to be like, what are all those Protoss units doing at my natural? He's going to go ahead and have to quickly turn back. And look at that, the force field to block the repair. NightEnD does not get in range. Oh, there's a huge hit coming out from the siege tanks. And unfortunately, what's interesting is that these Protoss units can't leave without taking a hit from those siege tanks. Just look as they cover the entire ramp. So as long as GoOdy can provide that extended vision there and bait his opponent out, he will be able to do some damage. However, NightEnD is getting the best of this anyway. Another siege tank going up on the side, and this is a Protoss sandwich if I've ever seen one, and the siege tanks are the bread as they are raining down massive shells on top of those Protoss units. He's going to go ahead and go for it. He loses the Stalker. Couple Marines coming down to assist, and what a great play from GoOdy. Just really using every single unit that he has available to him. Of course, these tanks up here in a static position. Here comes the medevac as well. He's going to bring another tank down, and he really has trapped all these units into his own natural. He can pull back as he pleases, bringing those Zealots out. Zealot's going to go towards the tanks. He will focus fire those down with the Marines, and will that tank fall? Yes, it will. He's going to go ahead and land that orbital. Is that such a good idea? Well, he's going to have to deal. He's going to have to deal with these Marines. Medevac using its last moments of energy. He needs the heal on those SCVs, but he also can't afford to lose too many of those SCVs. He's going to have to lift and go out yet again, but there are no Zealots here, so these tanks might be a little bit more effective. NightEnD making the best of the fact that he has been sandwiched here in this battle, and here we go. One tank hit, one Stalker down, and we're going to have 4 Stalkers getting out of there. Okay, however, looking at the situation, the pylon's still there. It is within vision. He's going to go ahead and take it and go after it. But as you can see, all these Zealots. I mean, look at what NightEnD has done in terms of keeping his opponent's economy from actually, working here for him. Over here, we've got full mining happening for NightEnD. And we've got the assimilators starting to get populated there. So full gas is coming out. And let's see what we have over on the other side. He is going to, I wonder if he can really start. Just take a look at the income tab. Of course, with the mules, it's about even. And he has still been making SCVs, so those Zealots are going to, unfortunately, fall. And that means that no longer is the Protoss trapped in the base. But if you consider how many units have been lost there and the cost of them, certainly the NightEnD not getting the better end of that deal. And GoOdy handled it well. I like the way that he used his Marines to try to bait his opponent out, and then he used the siege tanks to deal the damage based off that situation where it could have been a very, very heavy sort of a proxy pylon attack. Certainly a good decision made there by GoOdy. No panicking. Now he's got his natural up, and in fact, with the amount of mules that he's got, I'd be willing to bet he's about even or higher, and it does look like, Protoss player a little bit higher. He does have a few more probes there. And we've got a lot of missile turrets going up around the base. Just going to go ahead and use the vision to blink up into the main. And we will have siege tanks sieging up. A few Marines coming to the rescue and the aid. 2 missile turrets do go down. So a little bit of damage. And that's kind of what NightEnD needs to be doing right now. Let's take a quick look inside NightEnd's base, see what he's got going on. as it looks like 6 gateways. He's about ready to go double robo here. Twilight Council is down. Blink is obviously finished up, as we just saw him blink into his opponent's base. He might be doing it yet again. Just going to go ahead and pick at this SCV and missile turret from the side. And the third base for NightEnD and the Nexus going down. So looking at the production right there we see another Dark Shrine going down for NightEnD. Again, all mech armies. We have the armory finishing up. A lot of tanks coming out here. Getting that blue flame. Very interesting. NightEnD blinking up to the back area and taking out these back rocks. And it will force the Terran player to take a defensive posture here, whether or not NightEnD decides to attack or not. We'll have Engineering Bay and a Rax going down right there with a little tiny open choke. Protoss is going to move forward, taking a lot of hits here from those siege tanks before he finally blinks out, and here come the DTs. Now, we've seen all those missile turrets. There's one up here at the front. It will have the range to get hit with a couple of those volleys from the siege tank, and there are these two down here. So while the DTs may say, hey, free siege tank, they will get killed to these two up here. But more or less, he's just going to go ahead and leave those out. Wow. So we have the Hellion moving by, stopped by the DT. May have given him away, but that's okay. And take a quick look at the unit tab right now. 3 DTs, 17 Stalkers. Oh, hold the phone. We got double Warp Prism coming out, hence the double Robo. And he could be going for some pretty heavy DT attacking here. We have 1 Warp Prism on the bottom, 1 Warp Prism on the top. Of course, he can deploy those right over here, possibly bring them in on the cliff. But we'll just have to wait and see what NightEnD is going to decide to do. Will he go directly into his opponent's base? Or will he warp outside? It looks like he's just going to warp outside. The observer will see this third base going up for GoOdy. And this all-mech army could once again defeat NightEnD. It's going to come down to if he keeps on using these DTs to, of course, the scans. He's just going to warp in some Zealots over here. Some Zealots and some DTs over on this side. And he's going to load them back up. And then probably go ahead and take them into the base. Now, the incredibly fragile Warp Prism. Got to be very careful about that. Is he going to go ahead and go for this right here? Observer taken out. That will hinder NightEnD just a little bit. And let's see what happens. Will he decide to go ahead and go in here? He does have vision that there is a missile turret right there. 4th base going up for NightEnD. Reinforcing with some cannons as well. Still no movements coming out of either of those Warp Prisms. DT all over the map to watch. And NightEnD going to go ahead and move forward. Not sure exactly what he's going to do here, but he picks off 1 tank. A 2nd tank. There's a 3rd tank inside the base of his opponent. And a 4th tank as well. And here come the DTs. They will quickly get taken out. And unfortunately, NightEnD not able to do the damage that he needed to do. Over here in the back, though. Here come more Zealots warping into the side. Siege tanks up inside the main are doing some damage, but not before these Zealots rip through a lot of the army that he's got here. Another tank might fall as well, and those Zealots will go ahead and die. Thor going to try to take out the Warp Prism. Only a few Stalkers left, and that means the standing army of NightEnD down to just a few units here. A lot of DTs, a couple of Mortals coming out, some Stalkers, handful of Zealots, and versus several Thors, a lot of these Hellions, and a few tanks. Again, this mech army may dominate. See the Raven coming out there. Of course, a very, very wise decision to build that for GoOdy to make sure that he can defend versus these DTs. There we're going to have a scan. And how many scans does he have saved up in this situation? Quite a few over here. He's got no scans right there. And will the Immortals be enough? I think the answer is no. GoOdy is looking to be in great shape right here, throwing down some additional missile turrets. he can break through these back rocks. In fact, he doesn't even need to. Look at the damage he can do to this fourth base of NightEnD. And will the Protoss move in? Yes, he will. Now, the missile turrets aren't done, but we have scans revealing a lot of those DTs. The Raven not quite out yet, so he's going to have to continue to scan. Still a couple of DTs in there, and we saw almost the entire ground army get completely devastated. Only these two Immortals left to fight the battle, and look at how quickly they will fall, strong or not. When you are in a supply deficit and don't have ground units to support that, it's going to be a very, very difficult fight. And oh, a ton of probes getting roasted as well by these Blue Flame Hellions. He can continue this. He might march right into the natural as well. And folks, I think this means that GoOdy may advance in the winner bracket, and we are going to see NightEnD falling down to the lower bracket. And there it is, GG, as GoOdy will advance to the winner round 3. And we will see NightEnD falling down to the losers round bracket in the IPL Season 2.